365 Days of Horsemanship, day 173. I don't even know what day it is by now. This week has been so crazy. I graduated on Friday, which was yesterday, which was really cool, from my equine science degree, which was really awesome. Definitely just really nice to feel like I have the first piece of the journey behind me. There's so much more to come, but it was just super nice to celebrate. But I've been so busy this week, and so I'm kind of sitting down now to just catch up. I actually don't think it's as bad as I thought it was. So day 173, I had quite a good session. I came up again after work. I was pretty tired, but I was actually able to listen to Elsa's week 4 of her online course, which is really cool. We're halfway through the teaching now, and I definitely would recommend the course. It's been really cool just to have... I feel like I've watched maybe like I've watched 3 of Elsa's courses this year, and at every course I think I've taken something different, or I've noticed that dependent on the group and the context and the horses, Elsa will focus on different things with different groups. And the course has been really amazing because I feel like it's so much more in depth. There's really that time to dig into things, and it really fills in all the gaps of all of the kind of bits and pieces that might not necessarily have time for in a 2 or a 4-day clinic. So I came up and I just had Elsa's class kind of like playing in my ear, and I wasn't really sure how that was gonna work out. And initially I went to Lawrence and he was quite curious about me. That's definitely something I enjoy about coming in the dark, is that the horses are more curious about my arrival, which definitely helps me to kind of like be around at a time that's like stimulating for them. And they're definitely more motivated to kind of come and see me because they've been curious and distracted from the grass, which is really nice. And he kind of came up, had a little walk around with me. I don't know that my timing was super great, but it was okay. And then he walked back down to the rest of the herd who were having a nap by the shelter in the field. And I basically was able to stand with him. After some time, I got quite, I would say bored. And also my legs were starting to hurt. And I noticed he was resting one of his legs. And so I came over and worked on being able to lift the leg up, stretch the joints, and then put the leg back down again, which was good. That went well. I think I definitely could feel that I was pushing him into tolerance. He was definitely like, I could feel that like tension come up in him, and his head just lift up a little bit and turn a little bit away from me. And so I had to be quite careful once I'd put him in that place, like not to make it worse and not to exacerbate it. And I think it's very easy to feel like I want to do something in order to fix that feeling. And actually that's not always possible. I think a lot of the time it's really important to just remember that basically you like sometimes you need to do nothing and be in flow and just wait and like tame your wild. So I mean, it was good. I was able to work with that a little bit. I definitely have been having some trouble recently with leaving at the right time. I feel like I feel really lucky in some senses, because I feel now like I'll go to leave and then I'll feel like maybe I want to go and do something else just to like make it a little bit better or do something a little bit extra. And that's a really nice place to be. I don't feel like I don't feel like it's a struggle to be here. And I feel like the thing that's really limiting me is almost like my mental strength to stay for longer, and that definitely feels like a muscle. Like Elsa will talk about building the muscle of curiosity, and I kind of feel similar about my like strength of patience and consistency, being able to stay for longer. And so I feel really good about that. I found a good place to leave it, and I went to hang out with Mia. And I think that was the session that it really clicked for me, that Mia actually finds some comfort in the touching distance. And it's really interesting because as much as Lawrence is much more curious and much more open, and there's more money in the bank with Lawrence, actually with Mia, I don't need to worry about staying too long at the touching distance in the same way that I do with Lawrence. With Mia, she is quite comfortable at the touching distance, and I do wonder if there's a little bit of security in it for her. Like if I'm touching her, she knows that nothing's going to change, whereas if I'm close, I wonder sometimes if she almost feels like she's waiting for something to happen or waiting for something to change, which she doesn't have that feeling when I'm touching her. So it's been good. I haven't had much time these last few days to do much like physical exercise with her, and I don't know if I'll have any time today either. But I definitely felt good about the sessions I've had with this week. So yeah, I think it's just about having that patience. I definitely struggle a lot between, like right now, I'm really happy with how the sessions have been going, but I'm dissatisfied with the amount of physical exercise, and that kind of ruins it for me a little bit. And so it's about kind of like finding that balance between being patient and allowing the time that is needed for the patterns and the techniques that I'm using to work to make a difference, and also feeling like I'm being progressive or that I am achieving what I want to achieve. So yeah, but I feel good about it. Ultimately, overall, I think it was a good session.